So, hello everybody. We are going to start with the basics of Python programming. So, Python is one of the programming language which is used for web development. It is also used for a desktop app development. So, there are a number of uses of Python programming language. So, in this today's session, we are going to see the some basics of Python programming, how to do a coding. So, for this Python programming, we are going to use Jupyter Notebook. So you can install the Anaconda, and in that you can use Jupyter Notebook. Even the PyCharm is also one of the software which help you to do the Python programming. So without wasting time, let's start with the hands-on on Jupyter Notebook. I'm going to use this Jupyter Notebook online. So I will show you how to use that. Go to the internet, okay, and type try Jupyter Notebook online. Now go to the first site. Okay. Now you will find there is a Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, okay, Jupyter with R, Jupyter with C++, Julia. There are multiple different languages we can use with this Jupyter. So now we are going to see this classic notebook. Okay. So click on this classic notebook and wait for some time. Okay, now this page got appeared. So what you have to do is go in this file and click on new notebook and Python 3. Now you will see that there is a notebook page I have got where I will be doing my coding. Okay? So this is a page where I will be doing the code. Okay, so now let's see the first code that I want to print something. Okay. So print something as in displaying something. So for example, if I want to display hello world, okay, only just I want to display hello world as in my output. So we have a print function which will help us to display the output. So in the first line, I will write print. In the first line, I'm writing print and opening and closing bracket. Now, inside this opening and closing bracket, I will write double quotes. And inside that double quotes, I'm going to write whatever I want to print. That is hello world. So I'm writing hello world. See, I have written print in the brackets inside double quotes. I'm written hello world. This means hello world, I want to show it as an output. So when I will run this code, see here we have a run button, or simply you can use shortcut keys shift enter. So when you will use shift enter, I'm getting the output hello world. See this output hello world. So only hello world got printed. This is the output which I got. So now let's take another example. I want to print, hi, I am Sharvali. Okay, so what I will do again, see, I'm taking to the next line. I'm writing print inside the brackets. You can use double quotes or single quotes as well. Okay, but the quotes are important. So I'm using single quotes, and inside that I'm writing, I am Sharvali. I am teaching Python programming. Okay. So when I will run this code, see, I'm getting this output. So whatever thing you are going to write it into the quotes, it will help you to print that. You can use single quotes as well as a double quotes. Okay. Now see, if I'm not using this quotes, okay, see, I have removed this quotes, and when I will run this, it is giving me an error, syntax error. It is saying invalid syntax, means we had not written it correctly. So what is required? We have to identify that. So quotes are required. So whenever you are writing something wrong, it will show you an error. Suppose I am removing this bracket. The last bracket I am removing. So when I will run this code, see, again it is getting an error that unexpected end of file while parsing. And the arrow is given here. See, this is arrow is there. Is indicating here is something missing. So what is missing? A bracket is missing. So I'm adding a bracket and I will run the code again. See, to run the code, I'm using a shortcut key, Shift Enter. Okay, so when I will Shift Enter it, it will help me to give the output. So this is how the output I'm getting. Now, what I want is the output is coming into one line, but I want it into another line. That means I am Sharvali will come into one line, and I am teaching Python programming. I want it to a next line. So if you want an output to a next line, we have a function called as slash n. Okay, we have a slash n. See, I'm writing slash n. See how I have written slash n. Now this slash n indicates new line. So whenever you are using this slash n in between the sentences, it will help you to get the next sentence to a next line. So when I will run this code, now see the output I'm getting to the next line. You will observe that I am Sharvali is coming to a first line and I am teaching Python programming is coming to another line. I have just written slash n. You will observe this. Here I have written slash n. Similarly, instead of slash n, if I am writing slash t, so slash t will help me to give a space in between the sentences. See, I have run this. It is giving me a space. Okay. So slash t will give me a space in between. You will observe this. See, I am Sharvali and there is a space in between and I am teaching a Python programming. Okay. So this is how the slash t and slash n works. See, I'm giving again slash n. It is coming to a new line. Okay. So slash n, when we are writing in between the sentences, it helps us to go to a new line. So this is the simple basics of Python programming to print the output or to print whatever you want, okay, with the help of print function. Now next we are going to see is assigning a value to a variable. So variable, we know that variable is used to store a data value. Variable names can be any name, it can be a letter, but it should not be a number. It should not start with the symbols. Okay, so I am taking one variable as a and I'm assigning some value to a variable. A is equal to 5. Now I want to print this value. So if I want to print this value, so again I need to take a print function. So I'm writing print inside the brackets. Suppose if I have written in the quotes A, now we know that whatever we are going to write into this quotes, it will just help you to print. So my output will be A only, right? I have written this A inside this double quotes, okay, inside the single quotes. So I am getting the output as A. But I don't want A as an output. I want the value which is stored inside the A. This means I want an answer as 5. So what I will do is I will remove this quotes and I will simply put A. So what it will do, it will retrieve the value which is already stored into a variable A. So see, when I run this, I am getting the answer as 5. Only remember, if you want to print anything, any statement, then only use double quotes. If you want to retrieve the value which is stored inside the variable, then don't use the quotes. Simply write the variable name, that is A. So now my value which is stored inside the A, 5, is getting it as an output. Similarly, I will write B is equal to 10. Now I want to print the output of B. That means the value which is stored inside the B, I want to print it. So what I will do, I will write print inside the bracket B. So when I will run this code, see the output I am getting is 5 and 10. Okay. Why I am getting 5 and 10? Because I am retrieving the values which is stored inside the variables A and B. So this is a way to write a program. If you want to retrieve any value which is stored inside the variable, then simply by using a print function, you can write A, that is a variable name. Don't use the quotes. Okay, this is one way. So see now, this is a one way. Another way is you can use print A, comma B. So when I will run this, see the output I am getting is 5 and 10. So instead of writing this print function again and again, you can simply put comma and another variable name. Okay, so print A comma B is also valid. So this we can use. So this is a one way. Now suppose I want to do the addition of two numbers, that is numbers which are stored inside A and variable B. So how I will do it? Now see, instead of comma, okay, instead of comma, I am writing plus sign. See, earlier it was A comma B. Now I am writing A plus B. So when I will run this code, I am getting the output 15. So this is the addition of two variables, A plus B. This means it is an addition of 5 plus 10, and I'm getting the output as 10. Now, the output I want is, see, I will write the output here. The answer of addition is 15. This output I want. See, this output I want. Now what I need to do is the answer of addition is. I need to write it into double quotes, right? So here inside the print statement, I am writing double quotes, and inside that quotes, I am writing the answer of addition is. Okay. Now double quotes complete and give comma and then write the logic of addition, that is A plus B. So see, when I will run this code, I am getting the output as the answer of addition is 15. Okay, you can use here single quotes as well. Okay, you can use double quotes also, you can use single quotes also. That is valid. Okay, and just run this code. So see now what I wanted to print the answer of addition is, it was just a statement, right? So I have written it into a double quotes, and I have then given a comma, and then I have written a logic A plus B. Okay, so this is the program of addition. Now similarly, if I want to do the program of subtraction, okay, if I want to do the program of subtraction, now A plus B I have written, instead of that I'm writing A minus B. Okay, so it is giving me a subtraction answer, that is minus 5. Just recreate this statement. The addition of subtraction is A minus B. Okay, it gives me minus 5. So this is how we can do any program: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay? Suppose in one program only I want the answer of addition also, and I want the answer of subtraction also. So how to do that? Just copy this print function, again write this print function, and here instead of subtraction I'm writing addition, and the logic I'm writing A plus B. So when I will run this, it is giving me the answer of subtraction is minus 5 and the answer of addition is 15. Similarly, if you want a multiplication answer, the same thing you have to do. Take the another print function. Inside that, I'm writing the answer of multiplication is comma A into B. So again, I will run this. See the output I'm getting of multiplication. So this is how we can do the programming in Python with this Jupyter notebook by writing these statements. Now in this Python programming, indentation is very important. The way you are writing the code is important. You cannot write the code in one line. Means for example, you cannot write A is equal to 5, B is equal to 10. Okay, you cannot write like that likewise in one line. Don't write it into one line. Okay, it is valid, but don't write it. Okay, then you cannot give space here. See, if I'm giving a space here and when I run the code, it is giving me a error, unexpected indent. Indent is nothing but a spacing you are using, okay? Indentation. So this is not valid in Python programming. You cannot use space. It has some another meaning. So compulsory you have to write line wise only. Okay? So this is very important when you are doing a Python programs. The indentation is very important. So this is how we can do the programs of addition, multiplication, and subtraction. Now, the another program we'll see is, now you can use the values as 5.5 as well, okay? You can use the integer value or you can use the floating value. So I'm using 5.5 and 10.1. So the outputs which I will be getting it will be into the points. See, I'm getting minus 4.6, 15.6, 55.55, okay? So you can use these values also. Now let's take the another example. I'm taking a variable first name. First name is also variable. It can be a variable. So now in the first name, I'm assigning my name. I want to give a my name. That means I want to take a word. If you want to take any word, it in a programming language, it will be considered as a string. Okay, any word, any letter, it will be considered as a string. So if you want to take a string, it should be compulsory into a quotes. So I'm writing the quotes and I'm writing my name, that is Sharwali. Similarly, I'm taking another variable as last name and I'm writing my last name, that is surname. Okay. See now, I have written these names into double quotes. I mean, single quotes by using a quotes. Double quotes or single quotes, both are valid. So I have taken a variable first name. Inside that first name, I had stored the value Sharvali. And inside the last name variable, I have stored the value Sarnaik. So now I just want to print these two values. I want to print this Sharvali and I want to print Sarnaik as well. So if I want to print the values, what I need to do? See, what I will do, print, inside that print, I will write first name. And again, I will take another print function and I will write last name. Okay, so when I will run this, I will get the this output Sharvali and Sarnaik. Hope is this that is visible to you. Okay, this is one way. Another way is, instead of writing this print function again and again, just give comma and write last name. So when I will run this, see, I'm getting the output as Sharvali Sarnaik. Even you can use plus sign in between, but if you are using a first like plus sign in between, then it will join the two words. See, I will run this. It is joining two words. There is no space in between. So plus sign in a string indicates concatenation. Concatenation means joining two words together. So if you are using a plus sign, it will help you to join the words. And if I'm using a comma in between, then it will give me a space in between. Sharvali Sarnaik. Now what I want is hello Sharvali Sarnaik. This output I want. Hello Sharvali Sarnaik. So what I need to do? See now in this print function, I am going to write in quotes hello, then comma, first name, comma, last name. So when I will run this code, it is getting hello Sharvali Sarnaik. Okay. In the first name, variable first name, I have stored the value Sharvali, and in the variable last name, I have stored the value Sarnaik. So I'm just retrieving those values which is stored inside the variable first name and last name. So I'm writing hello first name comma last name. Okay. So this is how you can print your name. This is how we can use a values or a variable to retrieve the values. Okay. Now another concept in this Python programming is commenting of line. Comments. Now what is this comments we are going to see? So comment, comment. Comment means what? So there are two types of comments. One for a single line and another for a multiple line. This means, suppose, let's take an example. I'm writing a is equal to 8 and I want to print something a, and I'm also writing print b. But now you will observe that there is no b variable, right? So what I want to do is I want to make this line, that is print b, invalid. I don't want this use of this line print b. So what I will do, I will make this line invalid. This means I will comment that line. So how to comment that line? I will use hash function. See, I'm using this hash function. So when I will use this hash function, my line will get invalid. Okay. Or if I want to say something that this is my code, so I will use hash function and I will write this is my code. Okay, anything you are writing using this hash sign, it will mark as a comment and it will make invalid in this programming. So even I run this code, it will not come into the output because it will be invalid. So whatever you will write by using this hash function, like hash and sentence, hash and code, anything, if you are using a hash, then the line will be treated as invalid. Now you will observe that see a is equal to 8 I have written, and then I have used this hash symbol, and then I have written this is my code. So this line will now be an invalid. Okay. So anywhere you can use this hash and then you can write it. Or simply you can suppose this is my program and I want to tell that this is I'm printing, this is addition logic, like this is subtraction logic, this is sub logic I'm writing here. Okay. And when I will run this code, see the output will not change. But for my understanding, I can write anything by using a comment. So this is a single line comment. Only the sentence after the hash will be invalid. Now, if you want a multiple line comments, means there are some multiple lines, okay, and you want to make it as a comment. Let's take this example. Okay, so I'm taking this example, and there these last two sentences I want to make it as a comment. One way is I can use the hash function here and even here hash symbol. The two lines will be now invalid. See, only the answer of subtraction is visible. Okay, this is one way. Or the another way is you can use a multiple line comments. So how to use a multiple line comments? Give three single quotes. See, one, two, three. Okay, give three single quotes at the start of the line and three single quotes at the end of the line, wherever you want to end it. So here I want to end it, so I'm giving three single quotes. You will observe that three single quotes I have written at the start of the line and three single quotes I have written at the end of the line. So when I will run this code, the output I am getting is this. Okay, so you can comment it like this. This is valid comment. Okay, single quotes you can use. Even double quotes also is valid. Or you can use the hash function. Hash function. Hash is a single line comment and three quotes is a multiple line comment. Okay. So comments are used for a programmer purpose. So whatever the programmer wants to write to understand the code, he can write it by using a comment. And if it is in a comment section, then it will not include into a code or output. So this is a comment. Or if I have done this code and I want to give a name that this is my code, so I'm giving a hash function. This is my first code. For my understanding, I'm writing this is my first code. So when I will run this again, there will be no anything in the output. But when I will see this code, I will understand this is my first code. Okay, so anything you can write by using a comment. You can give your name to that code. You can explain the logic, what you have did it by using the comment. Anything you are doing using this comment, it will be invalid in the code. It will not consider in the code, but it will be for a read-only purpose to a programmer. Okay. So this is how we can use comment in Python programming. Okay. So I hope the simple basic things you have been covered. So now the next thing I'm going to show you is we have some inbuilt functions. Inbuilt functions means they help us to give the result immediately. So if you're writing the inbuilt function, it will help you to give or find out the answer easily. That means, suppose I want to find the minimum number between some other numbers. Okay, there are some numbers and I want to find the minimum value. So we have a mean function which will help us to find out the minimum value. See now how to do that. I'm taking one variable x and I'm writing x is equal to mean. Okay, mean function I'm writing, mean function. And inside that mean function, I'm writing some values. 2, comma 1, comma 4, comma 8, comma 6. Okay, I'm writing some random values. And then I'm printing this x. Print x. Now, what it will do? Print x. But now we know that in the x variable, we have used the mean function. So minimum value between this number will go and store into variable x. So the output we will get is 1. Why 1? Because 1 is the minimum value among these numbers. Okay, so this mean function help us to give the minimum value. So similarly, we have a max function. So let me take another variable. Y is equal to max, and I'm writing some numbers. Okay, so when I will run this, see the output. Okay, I have not printed anything. I need to print y. I'm writing print y. So when I will run this, I'm getting 9 as my answer. 1 is the minimum value of x, and the another value I'm getting is 9, because see here, you will observe the maximum number is 9 over here. So there is a max function. So these are the two functions, mean and max, which will help me to display the value. This is the mean and max function. Similarly, there is another function. Let's take a simple example. Suppose I want to find 2 raised to 2 answer. 2 raised to 2. So how I will do into a programming? I will just write print 2. Raised to indicates double multiplication size, and raised to 2. So when I will run this, I will get the output as 4. 2 raised to 2, like 2 raised to power of 2. Okay. This same program you can do by using a power function, that is POW. So I will write, let's take a variable as s. S is equal to power of 2, comma 2. And I will write print s. So when I will print this, again it is giving me a same answer as earlier. See. So this means you can use the power function to find out the value. Suppose I want to find out the value of 4 raised to 2. How should I write 4 raised to 2? So I need to write 4, comma 2. So when I will run this code, see the answer I am getting is 16. Okay. So this is how we can use the power function. See, we have seen the mean function, we have seen the max function, and we have seen the power function, that is POW. Now, another function is length function, LEN. LEN function that indicates length. So, see now, I'm writing T is equal to, inside the double quotes, I'm writing KIT. Okay, T is equal to KIT. So, now in the print function, I am writing length of T. See how I have written length of T, that is LEN. LEN indicates length. So when I will run this code, I am getting the output as 3. Why 3? Because this KIT length is 3. There are 3 words. So it is giving me an output as 3. Okay? So here I have written print LEN of T. That means KIT having 3 letters. It is giving me a length. So this is the len function, which is again an inbuilt function in Python programming, which is used to find the length of string. See how I have written the string? I have written it into double quotes, okay? Compulsory you have to write the string into double quotes only. If you are taking the string value, then it should be into double quotes. If you are taking an integer value, then no need of double quotes. Okay, so this is the length function. Now, next function we have is to find the absolute value. Now, what is this absolute value? Suppose if you are writing minus 12, it will give you plus 12. This is what an absolute value is. So I'm taking one variable and I'm assigning some value minus 25. Okay. And in the print function, I'm writing absolute value ABS. Okay, we have a function ABS. So I'm writing ABS of D. So when I will run the code, I'm getting the output as 25. It will change the sign. Okay. In the string, T is equal to KID, I have written it into double quotes. Single quotes is also valid, okay? You can use single quotes as well. The thing will be seen. So single quotes or double quotes is valid for a string. Remember this. And this is how we can use the absolute function. If I'm not writing this absolute function and if I'm simply printing D, see, if I'm simply printing D, my output will be minus 25. And if you're using with the ABS function, it will give 25. It will change the sign. That is what an absolute function is. Okay. Now there is another function called as type function. In Python programming, we have a concept called as data types. So data types means what? Which type of data we are going to use is called as a data type. See, I repeat again. Which type of data we are going to use is called as data type. So here I will use some variables and assign some values to that. So let me use the variables. I'm writing A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5.6, C is equal to, I'm writing some string value, and D is equal to, I'm writing some complex value, 5J. Now I want to find out which type of data type the value is using. By looking here, we know that A is having an integer type data. B is having some decimal type data. So how to find that? Which type of data the variable is storing? For that purpose, we have a type function. So I will write here print. Inside the print, I'm writing type in bracket the name of the variable, that is A. So when I will run this, see, I'm getting the output int. Okay, so which type the variable A has is int. That means integer. Int means integer. Okay, similarly, I'm writing print type B. So when I'll run this, it is giving me an answer float. That means B variable have the value of type float. Float is nothing but a floating point value, decimal value. Okay? So B variable is giving me a float value. Now, similarly, if I'm writing print inside the bracket type C. So when I will run the code, it is giving me an output str. So str is nothing but a string. So the C variable is storing a value of type string. Similarly, if I'm writing print type inside the bracket, I'm writing D. And when I will run this, I'm getting the output as complex. So now observe this, I have written 5J. So 5J is a complex number. So this variable D is storing a value of type complex. So this is how we can find out any type or a variable is using or a value having a type with the help of this type function. So just you have to write type inside the bracket variable name. So this is a syntax to find out a type of a variable. Like that variable is storing which type of data. Okay, it will show you a data type. So these are some basic data types: int, float, string, and complex. Int, float, str, and complex. These are some basic data types. I hope you are understanding these concepts. Let's move on to the another thing, that is Boolean value. So Boolean value gives us only true or false. Let's see how it works. I'm writing a is equal to 7, b is equal to 5. And in the print function, I'm writing a greater than b. Now see whether a is greater than b. If you observe these values, a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 5, then yes, a is greater than b. So when I will run this code, it is giving me a Boolean value that is true. It is giving me true because yes, 7 is really greater than 5. So it is giving me true. If I'm writing a less than b, it is giving me answer false. This is a Boolean value. This is one of the data type that is Boolean, B-O-O-L. We use bool. So it gives me either true or false. That's a Boolean value. So in this today's session, we have seen some basic concepts of Python programming, some inbuilt functions of Python programming, and data types. I hope you have been clear with these concepts. Now, how to store this notebook page? Simply here, there is a untitled. Give your name. I'm giving demo1 and rename it. It will get saved as demo1. Okay. This is how you can save your programs in this Jupyter notebook. So thank you all. We will surely see some another concepts in next session.